G'day guys and welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video I'm going to be giving you, I'm going to be fixing up Fox Sports forward pack ranking. I've done my forward pack rankings, they've done theirs, and we'll see the difference between them. So to my left we'll have Fox Sports ranking up now, and to my right we'll have my ranking. Now you can compare and give your own opinion. I really want you to do that. Obviously, Fox Sports one looks a little bit flashier than mine. Mine isn't as clean as theirs, but I do think that I've fixed a few of the issues that they have made. So if we look at it, the top six is fairly similar. The only difference in the six is I've taken out the Broncos and put in the Eels. Now, we'll go through it one by one. So their first pick was the Cowboys. Mine's the Roosters. Now, I think the Roosters easily have the best forward pack in the NRL. When you look at their forward pack on paper, Jared Waerea-Hargreaves, Brandon Smith, Lindsay Collins, Angus Crichton, you've got Butcher and Radley. So all up, that's a crazy good forward pack. Now I've done overalls for all of them. The lowest overall for a player I've put is a 75, and the highest I've put is a 95. So yeah, obviously the overalls are going to be fairly close to each other, but I think that's a fair rating for the Roosters, and I've got the Roosters as the best team in the comp for a forward pack. Next up, we've got Fox Sports ranking the Roosters. I've got the Panthers there now. Understandably, the Panthers lost a lot of depth or a lot of talent in their forward pack. Their forward pack is still extremely good. Now, they've got them ranked at 6th. I think that's insane. I really do. So for me, the Panthers, they've got Moses Leota, Mitch Kenny, who is a great player, really good player. And, I think they've disrespected the Panthers forward pack a bit. James Fisher-Harris, Liam Martin, one of the best second rowers in the game. They've brought in Luke Garner from the Tigers, who is not a bad second rower. You've also got Isaiah Yeo. I still think that's the second best pack in the NRL, and I think ranking them at 6th is just idiotic, to be honest. Third spot, they've got the Rabbitohs. I've also gone with the Rabbitohs in third. They could be a little bit lower if Tom Burgess doesn't start, which I think he will come off the bench, but I've gone with him to start here. I think they might start him. I do. I'm a bit on the fence with it, but I've got him starting Tom Burgess. If they do start Hame Sele, I think they might be a little bit lower down, maybe around that 87, 86 overall mark, because I do think Tom makes a massive difference there. So, but you look at the team list: Tom Burgess, Damien Cook, Junior Tatola, Keon Kaloa-Matangi, Jai Arrow, and Cameron Murray, who, in my mind, Cameron Murray is the second best lock in the NRL. So, I agree. I think the Rabbitohs are third, so I do agree with that one. Fourth, they had the Raiders. I think the Raiders are around that area, but definitely not fourth. And to have the Eels, that I've got Parramatta at fourth. They've got them at 8th. Now look at this forward pack. You cannot tell me that the Raiders and Cowboys and Broncos and Storm is, we'll get to that soon, but you cannot tell me that the Eels don't have a better forward pack than those teams. Parramatta, Regan Campbell-Gillard, international front rower. Josh Hodgson, damn good dummy half. Junior Bolo, another international front rower. Sean Lane, on the verge of being an international second rower. Ryan Madison, a really good second rower. And look, they've got Hopgood at lock, more than likely. But, he's a rookie. He'll be good when he gets there. I've rated him as a 78 overall. But there are others, I've got two 90s for Regan Campbell-Gillard and Junior Bolo. It lifts the team up. They've got I'd say they've got the best two front rower combo in the NRL. Their forward pack is insane, and to rank them at 8th, I think it's just crazy. All right, next up, they've gone with the Brisbane Broncos. I've gone with the North Queensland Cowboys. I think the Cowboys, look, they had the Cowboys at first. I still think the Cowboys are definitely up there. You've got Jordan McLean, Reece Robson, Reuben Cotter, Jeremiah Nanai, Hilam Lukey, and Jason Talmalolo. I think they're still one of the best forward packs in the NRL. I don't think they should be at first, but definitely in the top 5 for sure. All right, next up, the Canberra Raiders. So they had the Raiders at 4th. I've got them at 6th. I think they're around that mark. You've still got Josh Papali'i, who's an insanely good front rower. Zach Wolford or Tom Starling, depending on... Jesus, what's going on? Depending on which way you want to go with it. They've also got Joe Tarpanay, who's arguably one of the best front rowers in the NRL, if not the best. Hudson Young, Elliot Whitehead, both. Elliot Whitehead's an international second rower. Hudson Young probably robbed of an Australian jersey. I think he deserved one. And you've probably got Corey Horsburgh at lock, unless maybe Trey Mooney or something starts there. In that case, they probably do drop down to around an 85. But yeah, I think an 86. Yeah, I've got them at 86. I don't know what I'm talking about. They'll drop down at 1, so they'll go down to an 85. So Raiders, I think, are outstanding and definitely deserve to be around the top 6, but I wouldn't have them in my top 4 for forward packs. All right, so I've got the Brisbane Broncos at 7th. They had them at 5th. They've got Melbourne Storm at 7th. I disagree with that. I think Storm should be quite a lot lower, and we'll get to them shortly. But Broncos still have one of the best packs in the comp as well. Definitely a top 8 pack. Payne Haas. Then you've got Walters at dummy half, Flegler in the front row, Kurt Capewell in the second row, Jordan Ricky and Patrick Carrigan. So a couple of 90s mixed in with a few 80s there. I think 86 is a pretty fair ranking for them. And I think they're definitely a top 8 forward pack. All right, so the biggest joke of this list was the Eels at 8th. I highly disagree with that. So they had the Eels at 8th. I've got the Bulldogs. Bulldogs, very, very good forward pack with the additions of Reid Marnie and Viliami Kickout and Ryan Sutton. They've also got Luke Thompson and Max King in the front row with Raymond Fatala Mariner in the second row. So very good lineup there. They've got the Bulldogs at 10th. I've got them at 8th. I do think they deserve a little bit more respect than what they've got them as, but it's still around the same sort of mark. Now, another one I thought was highly disrespectful, and that's my 9th pick, is the New Zealand Warriors. Now, they've got the Warriors at 15th, and I think that's an absolute joke. When you've got a forward pack of Adam Fanua-Blake, Wade Egan, Tohu Harris, Niakore, I should say, sorry, Mitch Barnett and Josh Curran. That's a pretty good forward pack. That is a pretty good forward pack, and I think it's just disrespecting them to have them at 15th. For me, I've got them at 10th. They've got the Bulldogs at 10th, so yeah, it is what it is, I guess. All right. So, no, I've got them at 9th. They've got the Sharks at 9th. My apologies. I've got the Sharks at 10th. Sharkies do have a pretty good forward pack, if I'm being honest, but I think there's a few plays that sort of bring him down a little bit. Toby Rudolph, very good front rower, but he's not like one of the best front rowers in the game. Blake Brayley, good versatile dummy half. Hamlin Uele, again, he's a good front rower, but he's not. You're not going to look at him as one of the top front rowers in the NRL. Britton Nakora, damn good second rower. Wade Graham, very good second rower, but he's starting to fall off now, so I couldn't give him a high ranking. But then you got Dale Finucane, who makes up for a bit of that. So, yeah, look, I think Cronulla are a good forward pack, but they're definitely not up there with some of the best. So, 9th, I can make that a pass mark. Honestly, I could. All right, next up, they've got the Sea Eagles at 11th. I don't know why, and I don't want to offend Manly fans because I know I probably will. We'll get to Manly shortly though, because I've got the Tigers in 11th. So I've got the West Tigers in 11th. Tigers have a pretty good lineup. Like, yeah, they've got a few players that aren't big names. Like, I think his name's Sean Blore. I can't remember. I do apologise. I should know that. I can't think of his first name. I've got him as a 76. Can be a good player, but yeah, he brings it down a bit because you got players like Stefano Utakamono, Apito Coruscant, David Clemmer joins the team, Isaiah Papali'i and Joe Ofahengawe to join it as well. Like, that's a very solid lineup, and I think an 85 overall is well deserved in my opinion. So Tigers for me are 11th. They've got the Knights at 12th. I've got the Titans. I think the Titans deserve some love because their forward pack's pretty good too. Like, with a few, smaller name player, well, not even like, they got a pretty good team. They do have a pretty good team. Like, my lowest rating is Mo Fodawaker. But other than that, like, Sam Verrills, damn good dummy half. Isaac Liu, premiership winning front rower. David Fafita, really good second rower. I've actually got him lower than a lot of people probably have him. I got him at an 86. Could be a little bit higher, probably. But then you've got Firma in the second row as well, and Big Tino at lock. That's if Tino doesn't start in the front row, which I don't think he will. But yeah, I've got the Titans at 12th. They've got the Knights. It is what it is. I've got the Knights a bit lower, but yeah, take it with what you will. I've got the Storm at 13th. They've got the Tigers. I'll tell you why I've got Storm at 13th, right? Now, again, you guys might disagree and Storm fans might get pissy, but you look at this. Christian Welsh, damn good front rower, carrying a few injuries, but I've got him at an 88 overall. Harry Grant, 93 overall. I think he's an absolute gun of a player. Nelson Asafa Solomona, I've got an 88 overall. Then I've got Tariq Sims as an 83. He's getting a bit older now. Starting to fall off a little bit there. Loiero, I've got it at a 77, and Josh King, my apologies, I've also got it at a 77. So that's an 84 overall. I can't have them any higher. I don't understand how they've got them at 7th. Their three best players are Welsh, Asafa Solomona and Grant, and they're your front rowers. Their second rowers and lock really lack. So I don't understand how they've got them so high. I think that's stupid, but at the end of the day, that's up to them. So I've got Storm at 13th. They've got the Tigers. All right. So 14th for them are the Titans. I've got the Knights. So we've basically flipped them around. The reason I've got the Knights, look, they've got a pretty good forward pack. To be honest, they've got a pretty good forward pack. Let down by Brodie Jones in the second row. He's my only 70. Obviously not 70, but he's in the 70s for me. You got the Saifidi brothers, Jaden Brayley, Tyson Frizzell, and Adam Elliott. So I think an 84 overall is pretty good there for the Knights. Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair rating. Do let me know what you guys think in the comments. And I'm sorry, Knights fans, if I annoyed you with that one. All right, next up, they have the Warriors, which I just thought was idiotic. Oh, what's going on here? I just lost my bloody picture. All right, there we go. Back up. All right. So they had the Warriors at 15th, which, as I was saying, I thought was idiotic. I've got Manly. Now, when you look at Manly's lineup, it's not that great. Realistically, it's not that great. Gerbo and Olakawatu probably save it a little bit. Josh Aloiai, Lachlan Croker, and Pasaka in the front row. It's not that good of a front row, let's be honest here. Tuolangi from the Tigers potentially could be a very good player, but I just don't think we've seen enough of him on a a quality team, whether Manly is a quality team next year's, still up in the air. But you've then got, as I said, Olakawatu and Gerbo, which kind of bring it up a little bit. But an 83 is the best I could push for Manly. All right. The bottom two, I actually agree with 100%. Dolphins, I've got it an 82 overall. They've got an aging forward pack, and I can't see them really doing too much there with theirs. Jesse Bromwich and Marky Nichols make up the front row with Jeremy Marshall-King at dummy half. Kenny Bromwich and Felice Kafusi in the second row, with probably Ray Stone at lock. I can't do much better than an 82 for that one. I do apologise. Right, Dragons fans, look away. You're going to hate this one, I reckon. But realistically, the forward pack isn't not that good. Blake Laurie, I'd say tied with Sewer as your second best forward. Jacob Little at dummy half, not really offering too much there. I'd probably say you'd be better off playing Ben Hunt at dummy half, and that would really boost that rating, let's be honest. Francis Molo at in the front row. Jack Bird, who I'd say is probably your best forward. Jaden Sewer in the second row, and Jack DeBellin at lock. Like an 81 overall is the best I could honestly do for the Dragons. But yeah, guys, look, I know I'm going to get a few people that are annoyed with that, and that's fair enough. Like, I'm always open to listening to your opinions and seeing what you guys think about this content. Love to hear from you guys. Drop comments down below. And if you did like this video, though, please give it a thumbs up. Really helps the growth of the channel. I put quite a bit of work into this one. So, yeah, if you could support me, I'd really appreciate it. And if you're new here, guys, hit that subscribe button. Have a lot of fun around here. Do a lot of rugby league and sports content in general. And if you're into music reactions, I react to a hell of a lot of music. So check that out as well. Thank you all so much for tuning into this one, guys. And as always, my friends, I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.